episode 0x23 of Super Happy Dragon Lucky. And one way or another, we have a few things to go over. Let's see. First thing is coronavirus update. I don't know about the rest of you, but we're all remote here. And we, one way or another, have everybody's staying home around town, and when you do go out, it is interesting. You're seeing more cars now, and it does seem that people are getting a little more relaxed about it. But last I did go to a grocery store. I've been going to pick up mostly, but I did go in last week to a grocery store, and everybody had masks. They had a line with everybody separated nicely, and letting people in very slowly. It was interesting. It's kind of like something from a disaster movie or something. But anyway, everybody's been in good spirits. It's good to hang around with the family and stuff a lot more, especially during the day. So it's a good thing in many ways. So anyway, hopefully it's good everywhere out there too. I think Seattle, although a lot of us were afraid because it was hit so early, that it's actually good that we so far haven't had any of the numbers that other places have, and hopefully New York does better, and other areas that are in Italy that are not looking so well right now. So anyway, next up is the Dragonchain website, and so we'll do a quick little tour of it. Great work by the team, amazing stuff, and it was very, very much the team. I didn't even get in a good review, an early review, but they really delivered. It's really nice. So basically, they really wanted to focus on explaining the system to normal people, to businesses, and so they actually stepped back and rethought the entire way to explain how Dragonchain works, how DragonNet works, what the actual and real value is of using interchain in a hybrid network, so that you have best of both worlds. You have the privacy for your business data or your customers' PII, and yet you also have the level 5 proof, which is measurable proof on a blockchain that mostly even a nation state can't corrupt. And if they do, it is possible. China or the U.S. or some other nation states could attack Bitcoin and Ethereum and Ethereum Classic and Binance all at once, but it would be very, very expensive. It would destroy those currencies, and everyone would know that it happened. So it's interesting. And so, the fact that we do go to those 4, and we're hoping to add more in the near future. I think the model that's coming out for having partnerships with the other chains will be a lot easier to maintain, and a lot more appropriate for the use, because we'll have better support if there are updates. And in the past we had to drop Neo, although we would love to bring it back, but we had to drop it because we had too many issues with their code base and maintaining it. So next thing we have a developers page, which is nice because it points to all the docs. It has very short snippets for coders to look at. This is how easy it is to use the SDKs that we have. And I should ask the guys if they would have a RESTful API for something that would be maybe for Bash shell or something that we don't support with an SDK right now, but you can still use. You see Python. I do love Python. Go. Go's a great language. I've never gotten to play with it much. 1 or 2 projects way back when it was in its early days. And then Dart. I've been playing with Dart a lot lately, especially with Flutter. We basically describe, show you there are strategic bounty projects. There are with this the direction to go and get everything set up for an account. Here we're showing the solutions as an example. Eternal itself, which everybody knows what that is, and hopefully we're going to have some updates on that in the coming weeks, months. Dragon Factor, I know we're going to have some updates on that in the coming weeks and months. Really good stuff there. Den, of course, everybody's been following Den. We don't have too much coming out this week on it, but hopefully next week, I think there might be some new features there. Latium, which is the underlying product that is what you know of as Dragonchain Academy. We do have plans for that. We are looking for partners there that could help us roll that out as a more generic learning management system and ecosystem especially. And then also we have a community page now, which gives you all the links to GitHub, Telegram, YouTube, Den. We should probably move Den up. I'll talk to them about that. And then time, how that works, how to set up a node and become a validator, and then of course the metrics page. So we're really happy with the website. It's not complete. They're going to be adding more and more, but this was the real core of what we wanted to get out there, and I can't be happier. It's beautiful. So next up is the Latium announcement, and this came out of the blue. Sorry we didn't have much forewarning even for people in the fellowship because we it just popped up and we're like, okay, we can do that, and they could do it really quickly, and it made sense. So looks a very good project, and basically their goal is to how do I say, to provide a mechanism for cryptocurrencies to pay or for people to pay contractors with crypto, so they added dragons, and it's a really nice, simple partnership that was very easy for us, and I think very easy for them to set up. So that's out there. Do check it out. Do give us feedback, and let us know if we can help in any way, or if there are any ideas for ways that we can use their system as well. So we're always open to new ways to use the integrations that we have. And this isn't quite an interchain because they're using the ERC20 token, but it's one of the many reasons that we modeled Dragonchain to use an ERC20 token, because things like this made integration with them extremely simple. It's just the great ecosystem that Ethereum provides. Thank you, Vitalik. It's beautiful stuff. So, and the fact that we use it to leverage our token or to secure our token is something that's really interesting philosophically. So that's pretty cool. Next up is the ENA, the Eternal News Archive system. And there was, an announcement. I had the wrong page there. There was an announcement this week on ENA, which if you've been following them on Twitter, it's already been a pretty cool system that they will take news sites. You can typically forward with a direct message to their account to suggest any site that you think might be at risk site or tweet, or other info that might be at risk of being censored or removed, either because there's a mistake or something that might be embarrassing about it. Ideally, embarrassing stuff's cool. So they put together a blue paper. I talked to them quite a bit. It's Dragonchain active community members that put it together, and I suggested a couple of angles to help them roll stuff out and automate things in a relatively simple way. And so they put together a blue paper, which is full of their philosophical. Hopefully we'll have the link in the post, but it basically describes their vision, describes what they're wanting to do and how they're going to do it. And I know there are a lot of plans rolled out there, but they will be exposing it at some point. But it's really good because it's focused right now an interface on DIN, so they have a built-in way to let people discuss the articles, and at the same time, right now they are leveraging Eternal as well as DIN. Later, I think they might have direct integrations inside of DIN to get the same capabilities as Eternal, but they'll probably be using both for the entire period. You can look in the DIN Eternal News Archive layer, which is under /L/ENA, and you can look at all of the articles that are posting. I think the biggest feed they have right now is the Zero Hedge feed, and they will be, I believe, posting products that will also be able to be integrated into news sites and directly used by content creators and news sites themselves, as well as I'd imagine dissidents and anybody else who would want to be posting news. You can imagine if this was available early when coronavirus really started to break out. I know they did capture a few of those tweets, but this is a way to really get it persisted forever, provable if things change, if articles are modified, things like that. Really good info. Let's see here. Next up, and I might have done this out of order, apologies. We did announce a new sales incentive program, and this is a little bit behind the scenes stuff for some people watching, but one way or another, we have a good mix of people doing sales, and as we had a traditional sales program in place, we've added we've increased the commission on that, as well as our new sales lead is going to be adding, and hopefully we'll be announcing some of that soon. We'll be adding content likely to Dragonchain Academy, where we will actually have something in there to help people, to set them up for success, and to basically give them the tools that they need in terms of sales decks, pitch decks, so on, and support. But on top of increasing the traditional commission rates, we're also adding a token portion of the program, which should be potentially exponential. It'll be a better upside. So that said, let's see here. I'm going to hit the live chat for any good questions, and then we can close out. So it's been 15 minutes about. Let's see here. Yes, streaming for very certain is a big important thing right now. So far, I've not had any trouble with connectivity except for one day. And we've gotten all of our we had a line that kept going down because of trucks in the neighborhood, but it's back up. Wasn't anything to do with the coronavirus. Let's see here. Good morning. Okay. Any Fortune 500 companies testing or using Dragonchain? I know of, and I don't know if you're talking about some of the earlier discussion that was on Telegram and Den, but there have been some of those are ongoing. I don't know all of them. I don't know everyone that's using it. I don't even know where some of those metrics came from that popped up last week. So we know when we have a contract partnership, but then typically we're closed from being able to talk to it or talk about it. Sorry, until they announce, and even if they don't announce, then it's basically going to sit that way forever. Hopefully, some of the ones I know, some of the deals coming up have announcement built into the contract, so hopefully that helps. Let's see here. I'm gonna turn that thing off, and let's see at dragonchain.com. Let's see here. Any talks ongoing with other blockchain companies like Ripple, Tezos, Binance, etc.? We had, this was maybe even 2 months ago, we had a talk with some people from Ripple, and it was a little bit informal. It was mostly discuss a couple things that we were looking at, see if there was any interest. Didn't develop into too much. Let's see here. Of course, you guys know a little bit about Divi. They did announce, and we are actively talking to them now. And I know some of the team is actively working on some things with them now. So hopefully that will all be out and announced really soon. We'll see how that works. Oh, good question. Any plans down the road to have kid-friendly den, either with Factor or a separate den for kids? That's a good question. I know, just like when we integrate Factor, that the intent is to be able to allow anonymous users and then to allow layers to either allow or disallow anonymous, or only allow anonymous, or whatever makes sense. We could, in a very, sorry, I'm brainstorming right here, a very similar way, we could create a proof of age with a derived factor, which we already know is cooked in. We know that's going to be available based upon all of the integrations that we're looking to do. And we could use that to provide, how do I say this, to basically make, theoretically, you could have a layer that would not allow anyone over a certain age, or that could have some ability to prove that you're the parent, or that your parent has agreed to let you in there, or whatever makes sense. We should talk about that. It's a good idea. And theoretically, it could be a separate site. I don't know. We can figure that out. All right, let's see here. Is it possible that due to the coronavirus, there are delays in the advertisements of companies or marketing? Yes, we know that. We know that for certain, in a couple of cases at least, that some groups are, their schedules have changed. We even have one ad buy out that we are really looking into whether we push it back, because right now, I mean, while we do have a lot of people at home, at the same time, it's an odd time, and we might be able to get a better deal as well. So we are talking about that actively in a couple of cases. I don't know if that is exactly what you were asking, but let's see here. Tim Miller, will Dragonchain look into doing anything with Microsoft's human energy patent? Seems as though Dragonchain solutions would interchain greatly with that and a massive potential build. I know nothing about the human energy patent. If you are talking about leveraging some tech that, maybe it's a wearable or something that would track biometrics or some other thing to prove that it's a real human. That might really work well with our proof of human. Our proof of human is very focused on biometrics, device, other verifiable factors, and then the fact that you are meeting with another person. That's a big piece of it in the second phase that may really fit into something like that, because we're already talking about, obviously using biometrics on the device and using stored factors on the device that other people can verify by sight. So that's a good thing. I'll look into that. That's a good question. Let's see here. I asked it twice, I think, 3 times, 4 times, four or 5 times questions. Either way, let's see here. Thanks for posting links. Darn it. Okay, let's see here. Okay, when do we think it'll happen? A few weeks ago, start seeing quite a few transactions of client nodes. That was related to the coin, I think. I'm pretty sure it was related to the coin project, and it depends upon when they go live for certain. I believe that there is a date this month they're trying to meet for beta. So you would, if that happens, you would see beta transaction. I'm pretty certain it'll happen. You would see beta transactions soon, and I don't know to what level. And then shortly thereafter, I think a month after in May, they have another date where they will roll out for full public. So that might be what you're talking about. Rinaldo B's asking, how can I post on DIN? It's an interesting thing, and we probably need to work the tutorial or something, but you have to subscribe to a layer to post to that layer. And if you try to, if you go into any other layer, there's no post button. And I think a vote or a reply will prompt you to log in or register. I don't know if it will prompt you. I'll check that. But yeah, basically you have to subscribe to the layer to post on it. El Toro, does Dragonchain oracles provide the same service, or is Chainlink more advanced, and how? We are not specialized as an oracle system, right? Chainlink, that's their thing, and so yeah, definitely they are a fully as fully as you can be a decentralized oracle system, and so that is notably different than what we do. We have the capability to provide oracles. We even have the capability, if you so wish, you could build a simple form of decentralized oracle with multiple nodes. Obviously, we make it extremely easy to write what would be an oracle and interact with these other chains. So to any chain that you could code to, even if we don't have an interchain that is built and part of the SDK, you can connect with any other chain because we are Docker and Kubernetes based. So anything you can do in code, you can do on Dragonchain. So it's interesting. When we talk about oracles, we talk about the ability to do integrations with traditional systems, to use those traditional systems as oracle to your chain, or even if you have an Ethereum smart contract, to use that traditional system to provide an oracle to your smart contract on Ethereum or any other chain. So, and a lot of the interesting pieces about that were prompted by the fact that we have what we call a Cron smart contract, which basically lets you schedule the firing of your smart contract itself. So when you think about that, that's a really interesting thing because it's embedded into the system itself, and your smart contract doesn't have to be called by an outside chain. It can be called directly, and so you can provide an oracle to outside, or you can provide an oracle to yourself. And Chainlink is much different. So I do think I would love to see a Chainlink integration, but like I'd said before, our current model is to try to get partnerships with those other chains so that they can maintain the node, keep it up to date, everything else, and we plug into it. And in fact, I think that I have a DM in Twitter that I need to hit that's probably over a month old, where somebody was trying to get me in touch with Chainlink. So apologies there, but been pretty busy. Any update on Centricity partnership? No updates on Centricity partnership. Announcement on Forbes from AM150. We do have an ad that should be in this month's issue. They did, from my understanding, have a delay in the release of the electronic version of the issue. So I do know. Shoot, I knew the dates. Sometime late this month, the print edition's coming out. Of course, someone will see it, and we will we'll post the electronic version when it's out there. It's a full-page ad. It's nice. It's clean. It points to some campaign stuff, and it points to the docu-series as well. So good stuff. Let's see here. Superhero Lifestyle TV. Can companies use Dragon Factor and brand it how they want? Absolutely. We have one of the first partnerships rolling out that is using it. We'll have it embedded inside of their own app. It will use It will use Dragonchain. It will use the Dragon Factor node behind the scenes. You won't know it if you are using the app, but it will be generating Dragonchain, DragonNet transactions throughout. So that is part of the plan and the vision. There will be likely a Dragon Factor app itself, which will be your identities would be directly interchangeable with any app that uses it, but a normal person wouldn't know that it's using Dragonchain behind the scenes unless there's a deal to put our logo on it or something. So depends. And we do have new things coming out with that as well that are really exciting, really interesting, and really valuable. So hopefully that'll be out soon. We'll let you know. Let's see here. Ryan, I'm not even, by the way, reading these questions before I pop them up, so hopefully there isn't anything bad. Ryan, any plans to integrate with USDC? Seems like that would be a big solution to offer devs plus Takara and node payouts. Is that dollar coin? I don't know. None right now. I think if we integrated with any stable coins, we would likely either do it if there's a good partnership. Stably comes to mind. I like those guys. They're local. They have definitely a good team, and I think they're all on the up and up, and everything's they're very hungry. They're doing a lot of work, and I could see us doing something with one of the ERC20 US dollar stable coins, because that would be extremely simple to do. And yes, it does make sense with Takara and everything else. In fact, with some of the work in DEN, in particular with the tokens, when we fully release Lore and Lot and get everything rolling there, I'm trying to figure out, and I think that there will be an integration with stable coins to avoid having to deal with some of the exchange stuff that you always have to deal with in crypto, to pay to list and all that crap. So what I would love is to have something that's decentralized and simple and is literally a utility token, like you're going to an arcade, like you're going to Chuck E. Cheese, or your arcade in the 80s at the mall, or the laundromat. And that's what we're looking to do. But of course, the entity itself, DEN, will decide that. I imagine I'll have some role to play in it, but I won't be CEO, and there will be, how do I say, probably a, well, we know that there's going to be a governance board, which is kind of like an advisory board, but that you'll have 3 seats. I've talked about this before. 1 seat will be controlled or voted in by the board itself, the company. 1 seat will be basically in some way voted in by the people that have produced matter in the past. That is by the miners, the content creators in the end. And then the 3rd seat will be based upon lot holders. So it's kind of like property owners, the commoners, the general public who are producing content, and then the business itself. So those 3 will make all governance decisions, all decisions about the economy, the algorithms, the ways that you do blocking, the rules of the entire DEN ecosystem. So and we did come up with, by the way, DEN, something we didn't announce. So we do have a Twitter account coming out that will be used for that. So we'll get that out so you can follow it. But it's we're going to start calling people denizens, which is an already existing term, and it makes sense. Perfect. So, okay, next up, Blake Dillard is project still involved with Disney. Which project? Which project do you mean, Blake? Let's see here. Sponsol Im. Any updates on the documentary release date platform? I think they're still waiting on a release date. They have it, I believe, in June. I don't know if they have the final date yet. And platform would be announced. That'd be part of the marketing. So Blake Dillard, can you stake coins? There's no question mark, Blake. Punctuation matters. Sorry. You cannot stake coins, but you can, by holding coins, generate time, and time can be applied. And some people call it staking, just to make it understandable for the rest of the crypto world. But it is applying time or staking time to your node or nodes. And if you're running a verification node, then you stake time to it, and you basically get a proportion of the fees based upon that node's blocks verification. And so the more time, the more dragons you get. And if you're running a business, so if you're running a business node and sending a transaction onto your business node, you pay for your verifications a set deterministic transaction fee based upon how much time you apply. So if you have more time as a business, your fees will be radically lower. Okay, let's see here. Let's see here. Would you say the gray from stress or wisdom? And will you keep it? I think stress and wisdom are probably the same thing. So yes. And so far I keep it. I'm getting annoyed with it lately. I thought about it, been thinking about shaving it, but that's more work than it's worth probably. And I just look fat when I trim it. So anyway, let's see here. The comments in this Super Happy Dragon Lucky, are those of the author and not reflect the official policy or position of Walt Disney Company? I don't know what you mean. You mean my comments or other people's comments? I don't know. Either way, that is all of the AMA. That is good. So I'm going to sign off, and hopefully next week we will have some more good info for you. Keep us up to date. Let us know if you need anything or if anything interesting we should cover. Thank you very much. Have a good week. Subscribe and like this. Goodbye.